Hi guys, and welcome to episode 3 of The War Room. I know that once again it's been ages since my last video, but I'm glad to be back and very excited to bring you guys today's video. If you can remember that far back, you may recall that I asked you guys, the viewers, to vote for my next video topic. The 3 options I gave you guys to choose from were 1. How to review your gameplay, which was suggested by a subscriber called Jack Johnson, so thanks to him again. Number 2, reloading do's and don'ts. Or number 3, the next episode of BF Basics. Now the results were pretty close, but in the end option number 1 received the most votes, so today's video will be all about how to review your gameplay. I will be doing videos on the other 2 topics as well, so if you voted for one of them, you can look forward to seeing those videos on the channel soon as well. So in preparation for today's video, I did quite a bit of thinking and looked in detail how I review my own gameplay, and I came up with what I thought were pretty good tips. However, I thought it might be prudent to get a more professional opinion. So I called up on my good friend DotEXE to run a few of my ideas past him. Now, DotEXE plays Battlefield for Bravado Gaming, which is the biggest MGO in South Africa. They are 2012-2013 BF3 champs in the DGL, and I think they came 3rd in the 2014 Battlefield 4 DGC. Now, I'd hate to inflate his ego, but he is hands down one of the best players I know, so I thought who better to get some info from. After we chatted a bit, he agreed to actually help me out with today's video, so it's my great honor to introduce DotEXE. Welcome to the channel, bud. Thanks again for sharing your expertise today.
What's up, man? How's it, guys?
So basically, I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions just to sort of show our thought process in coming up with the stuff. So the first question would technically have to be, do you review your own gameplay, or do you guys as a team review your gameplay? And what I'm trying to get to is there really any merit in even doing it?
Yeah, we do. I think individually we review our own gameplay at times, but it's mainly a team sort of based thing. We've got people that generally stream the games and things like that. And it actually saves on the Twitch channel, so we obviously just have a look at it the next day or something like that, or maybe a couple of days afterwards, because you know, we don't want to kind of have it fresh in our mind still.
That's a very good point. Yeah, I'm actually want to bring that up just now. So okay, cool. So you guys do review it, and when you review your gameplay as an individual, should you be focusing on something in particular, or can you review it in its entirety, really?
It's completely up to you, but I suppose, I mean, the better option would be to actually review, you know, a single sort of aspect of your gameplay. So, I mean, be it if you're in a tank or something like that, or infantry or something, like, you know, you got to focus on something, rather focus on one thing at a time than focus on the entire thing. So okay, cool. And you basically touched on this just now, but how do you stay objective when you watch your own gameplay? Like, how do you make sure you have an objective sort of opinion of what you're watching? Well, like I said, I mean, you don't want to kind of review your gameplay immediately after you've just played the game, because it's still fresh in your mind and you still have, you know, everything running through your mind, exactly what you were doing and things like that. So I'd rather give it some time. Carry on playing the game, don't stop.
Yeah.
But
don't watch the gameplay back immediately.
Review it like 2 or 3 days or something, maybe even a week.
Sure.
And then you can obviously see from a different perspective. I mean, it's not as fresh in your mind. So
absolutely awesome. And when you say keep playing, is there any worth in sort of watching other players in order to improve your own gameplay? You know, like I tend to watch some of the YouTubers and whatever, but you guys play on a different level. Would there be merit in watching other guys play that you think is better than you?
Definitely. I mean, that's a big thing. I mean, you've got your own style of gameplay, but there's nothing wrong with watching better players. If you think they're better than you, it doesn't matter. Just watching other players play gives you a different perspective towards, you know, approaching something or doing something in a different way. It just gives you an idea how their minds work. So I think that's a great sort of thing to do.
Cool. And then obviously, like you said earlier, if you're gonna look at something in particular when you review your own gameplay, that's obviously the kind of thing you're gonna be looking for when you watch other people play. Like if you're gonna focus on jet play or tank gameplay, you're gonna watch guys that are really good at tanks or jets or whatever, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's important. I mean, try not to just, you know, look at everything that he's doing at once. I mean, rather just focus on what you specifically looking at, and then see what he does in that sort of, in that sort of terms.
Absolutely. So after our first few discussions, EXE and I came up with the following set of steps you guys can take if you wish to review your own gameplay. Step 1. Decide beforehand what specific area of your game you wish to improve, be it a specific vehicle or general infantry play or aiming, etc, etc. Step 2. Once you know what you want to review about your gameplay, go ahead and record about 5 rounds where you focus completely on that area of your gaming. So if you wish to review your tanking skills, record 5 rounds where you do nothing but tanking. Step 3 then, and this is important, and this is something .exe actually brought up, change servers after every round. This step is vital to ensure you get game time against enemy players of varying skill. It would be pointless if the enemy team was completely made up of noobs and you go 40-0 every round. In order to properly review your gameplay, you would need to get a good balance between enemy skill levels. And that's something you brought up, hey? EXE, it's important to switch servers so that you sort of, not play the same team over and over.
Yeah, you don't want something repetitive, and then you just, you kind of learn in such a short period of time, you learn how the other player is playing. So, I mean, it's pointless to kind of do the same thing over and over again.
You basically want a fresh round every time, yeah.
Yeah.
And that brings us to step 4 then, which is not to look at your footage for a week. It is vital to the reviewing process that you forget as much of the details of the round as possible, so your perspective would be fresh when you watch it again. And that's what you said. You guys have it saved on Twitch, but you don't watch it immediately because it's pointless reviewing something that you just did, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, when you get to a higher level, I mean, there's nothing wrong with watching it the next day, but we don't watch it, I mean, immediately afterwards or anything. So, I mean, we just kind of give a break and have a look at it, in time, rather not immediately afterwards.
And to aid with that, step 5 is then to game as much as possible during that week. And this ties in with the previous step, like I said. We want you to recall as little as possible of the 5 rounds you recorded, so the more rounds you play before you get to watch it back, the better. Step 6 would then be to watch footage of more skilled players, which we sort of talked about earlier. Now, YouTube is obviously filled to the rafters with footage of highly skilled players in every area of the game. And in the time between recording your footage and reviewing it, watch as much footage as you can of other, preferably better, players doing their thing in that area of the game. Take note of things like their playstyle, their loadouts and their perks, which path they tend to run, are they in comms or do they go lone wolf, etc. The obvious guys to check out would be the big YouTubers like X Factor, Level Cap, Dascro, Jack Frags, Atimio. And for console guys, I sort of like Yesh Gaming. EXE, can you sort of recommend any channels other than those?
You've pretty much gone over most of them. But, I mean, yeah, just keep a lookout for, games that are being played on Twitch and things like that. I mean, actual live games that are being played like at ESL and things like that. I mean, larger competitions.
That's excellent advice, yeah. So look out for competitions happening and live stream it. That's an excellent idea.
Yeah.
Cool. Step number 7 then is after a week, go ahead and watch all 5 rounds from top to bottom. Try and be as objective as possible. Pretend you're watching someone else play and take note of any differences you see between your gameplay and that of the better players you watched before. Try and analyze each death and see how it might have been possible for you to avoid it. Exactly what I tend to do in my Why Did I Die series. Step 8 would be then to isolate your worst trait and also your best trait and improve on both. Step 9, over the next week, try to specifically... Step 9...
Take your time. Take your time.
Step 9, over the next week, try specifically to practice getting better at what you suck at most and also try and enhance what you do best. And then step 10, once you feel that you've made solid improvements, start these 10 steps again. And that's basically what we discussed, eh? That's sort of a good, solid 10-step program that you can sort of repeat to focus on different skill levels of your time, hey?
Yeah, just try not to cram everything into one. I mean, that's the most important thing. Take it a step at a time.
Yeah, that's exactly. So step 8 is really important there. Like, try and isolate one thing that you're really bad at and also one thing that you're really good at and try and improve on both of them.
Yeah.
So that's our 10-step program, guys, on how to review and improve your own gameplay. I can guarantee you that if you put in the time and manage to look at your own gaming objectively, you will be able to zone in on exactly which areas you need to focus on and thereby improve your skill set massively. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, nothing much.
Is there any place my viewers can check out a bit more about your gaming team and your channel? Do you have a channel or anything?
Yeah, you guys can check us out on Facebook, Bravado Gaming. And we also have a Twitch channel that we stream every now and then. It's SUUMPMOLK. that's some
cool. I'll definitely link both of those in the description because I think that's a bitch to spell. Cool, and thanks so much for joining me, man. Pretty sure we've learned a lot, and this won't be the last time. I'm going to be asking you to lend your expertise, so stay tuned for that phone call.
No problem, bro. Thanks HB for letting me in on this, and yeah, I'll see you guys soon.
Perfect, dude. Cheers.
Cool.
And that brings us to the end of this episode of The War Room. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. Follow me on Twitter for more up-to-date info on this channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.